Namaste and good morning. Let's do our prayers first. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parbrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Bhu Bhuva Swaha, Tatsavitra Varenayam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Diyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Asto ma satgamya tamso ma jyotirgamya mrityorma amritam gamya. Om sehna bhavatu sehna bhunaktu sehviryam karvavahi tejasvi navadhitamastu ma vidvishavahi. Om shanti shanti shanti. Om. So we are towards the end of Narada Bhakti Sutra. As we know, this great Bhakti Shastra has only 84 verses. And last week, we looked at verse number 82. And somebody called me, looks like I did not explain it properly, the term asakti. See, there are three terms. Sakt means attached, asakt means detached, and asakt is extremely attached. So over here, the word is asakti, extremely attached. When he said, Gun mahatam me asakti, okay, so extreme love for glorifying God's qualities. You cannot help yourself but to talk about God wherever you go, whatever you do, because you are so attached. Whomever we are attached, we just keep on talking about them. It could be something worldly, it could be some worldly person, it could be some worldly achievement, or it could be God's glories. Then he says, Rupaha Sakti, love for his divine form. Because we are attached to the forms, but you want to see only God's form. That is so dear to you. Puja Asakti, love for ritualistic worship of him. Constantly you're thinking about when is my time when I can sit near my Lord and do some puja. When I can do Havan, when can I do Arti? When can I do Pad Puja? So Puja Asakti. Smarna Asakti, love for constant remembrance of him. Constant means there is no other thought comes in your mind other than God. That is Asakti, extreme attachment. Dasya Asakti, love for doing service to him. You want to just serve him. No matter what you do, you are serving God. Every action can become a service. Sakhya Asakti, love for friendship in him. He's my friend. He's the only friend I need. That is Asakti. Vatsalya Asakti, love for the Lord as one's own child. Kanta Asakti, love as that too, a beloved Kanta. Atam Nivedan Asakti, desire for a total self-offering at his feet. Atam Nivedan. Tanmyata Asakti, love for complete absorption in him. I want to just become one with him. I cannot stand this separation. Param Viraha Asakti, love as expressed in the pang of separation from him. Viraha. Param Viraha. So Narada ji is saying these are 11 modes of expression of love to God. You can use one or you can use more than one. So just remember that Goal is to increase our love for God. So in all of these 11, goal is only one. In which way we can get closer to Him? How can we decorate our devotion? How can we enhance our devotion? What is our inclination? Because some people can see God as a baby, but some people, they are more comfortable with being a servant to Him. So whatever is comfortable to you. So for this, you need to look within. Okay. So, but keep on increasing your attachment to Him. So asakta means complete attachment. So satsang helps us. Company helps us. Company of the people, company of the divine place, company of the divine books. All of that help us to enhance our love for God. Okay. So use any one or all of these. So do not get confused. If one is enough, that's okay. But if you think that, no, I would like to have two, I want to look at God as my beloved also, and I want to be a servant also, that's okay too. Then you will constantly remember Him. Okay. So devotion is a vast ocean. That's why you can just pick any gem from this ocean and use it to increase your love. So anybody has any question before we finish 83 and 84 verse? Okay, if you don't, let's look at verse number 83. इत्यं वदन्ति जन जलप निर्भया एकमतः भगत आचार्यः कुमार व्यास शुक शांडिल्य गर्ग विष्णु कौंडिन्य शेष उद्धव अरुणिः बलि हनुमत विभीषण आद्यः. इत्यं वदन्ति, thus do they declare. Jan jalap nirbhaya, those who are fearless of the people's prattle. Ek mataha, of unanimous opinion. Ek mat. Bhagat, bhakti acharyaha, those who taught the path of devotion. Bhakti. So bhakti acharya. And these are the names of some of the bhakti acharya. Kumar. Who is Kumar? Sanat Kumar. Those Brahma's sons, they are called Kumar. Vyas, Rishi Vyas, who has written Mahabharata, compiled all the Vedas also. Vyas. Shuk, Vyas's son, Shuk. Shandilya, Garag, Vishnu, Kaundinya, Shesh, Uddhav. We were reading about Uddhav yesterday in Bhagavad Puran. Aruni, Bali, Hanumat, Vibhishan, Adya. Adya means etc. That means there are more than these also. He is naming just a few. So Narada is saying, thus declare they who are fearless of other people and their prattlings, their unanimous opinion. They who are masters of the path of devotion, such as Sanat Kumar, Vyas, Shuk, Shandilya, Garag, Vishnu, Kaundinya, Shesh, Uddhav, Aruni, Bali, Hanuman, Vibhishan. So this is in connection with the previous verse. So having described the 11 modes of bhakti, which glorify the divine, this sutra adds that all the acharyas of the path of devotion stand unanimously about this supremacy and efficacy of devotion. And they really don't care if other people criticize them. The people in the society, they will criticize. So they don't fear. They don't fear the worldly opposition. Why? Because worldly people cannot understand this kind of a love. Worldly people love to be in the company of the worldly people. A person who loves to drink will love the company of other drinkers. So these saintly people are very few. So worldly people don't like them. Pandits of Kashi wanted to kill Tulsidas. Tulsidas Ramayana, which is recited all over the world right now, they wanted to kill him. And when he died, people glorify him. People do not like such saints. They just like only the dead saints. That is a sad part. But the men of wisdom are men of conviction, and they always openly declare the truth alone. They don't want to be the doormats of worldly people. They loudly, heroically, courageously, they keep on singing the name of Lord. Same thing happened to Jesus Christ. What did they do to him? Put him on the cross. They cannot and will not mince matters or polish truth for the ready acceptance of the people of their era. They don't care whether it will please the people. They openly declare that their view about the truth. So that's why the lives and the writings of these paragons of bhakti become our data. We read about it like Narada has written, or Vyasji wrote Bhagavad Puran. We like to understand each and every word of it so that it can enhance our devotion for God also. So there are many attitudes, glories. They are strung into one beautiful bouquet. That's what Tulsidas Ramayana is. That's what the Mahabharata is. That's what this Narad Bhakti Sutra. So the great Bhakti Acharyas who had lived the devotion, had walked the path of devotion, he has mentioned some of these names. So as I said earlier, the Sanat Kumar, that means the sons of Brahmaji, the creator. Because they are constantly merged in the experience of the divinity. Constantly. It is said that they are constantly because they are perennial, they are eternal, they are everywhere all the time. They are chanting the Maha Mantra, Hari Sharnam. I'm sure you have heard that. That is Brahmaji's son who is saying that Hari Sharnam. Hari means God, Sharnam. I am devoted to him. I surrender to him, Hari Sharnam. Then Vyasji, we know, famous author of not only the Mahabharata, but even all the Purans also. And Shukadevji, who was the narrator of Bhagavad Puran to King Parikshit, and he was a son of Vyasji. And Shandilya, Rishi Shandilya. See, some of these scriptures are available, but a lot of scriptures, they have been destroyed. When those Hindu libraries were burnt in India. Names are there, but some of the scriptures, they are gone. But even what is left also, there's plenty for us to understand what these great rishis spoke about or wrote about. So Shandilya, those are also sutra on love. Rishi Garg given out the Bhakti Sutra. Maharishi Vishnu gave out some Samritis because there are a lot of Samritis also. See, Shrutis are the Vedas, those are the primary scriptures, but Samritis are the secondary scriptures, and they are extremely profound too. Kaundinya Maharaj explained the path of absorption in devotion and glorified the path of meditation, where with that kind of a meditation, the bhakti is enhanced further. And Shesh is the thousand-mouthed, wondrous devotee in whose lap Bhagwan Vishnu is ever reclining. That is Shesh. Shesh Nag. So this Bhagat took the form of a body where his Lord could just recline. Look at that bhakti. We are afraid of even that kind of a form. We get afraid just looking at that form, even sometimes on the TV. But here, this Sheshji took that form, expanded it to that level, and every time God comes, he comes with him to serve him. As Balram he came, as Lakshmanji he came. This is the love for Lord. And Uddhav, as I was telling you, there's a Uddhav Gita also. Maybe we'll get a chance to study that also one day. Friend and disciple of Lord Krishna. And it said that he was a cousin also of Lord Krishna. He looked almost like Lord Krishna, the physical resemblance. Aruni. Aruni is a name used for Nimba Acharya, who brought forth the idea of Radha Krishna. Nimba Acharya, he wrote about it. Because when we study Bhagavad Puran, Radha's name is not there. But Radha Krishna love, we grew up with how Radha was the great devotee of Krishna. So Nimbacharya, who's called Arune, wrote about that. And he talked about the gopis also in that. And Bali, we know who he is. He followed the path of surrender, performed the 100 yagyas, reached the status of Indra. He established that if somebody asks me something, I will never say no. He knew that Vishnu came asking for 3 feet of land. His guru said, don't do it. You will lose everything. He said, if Vishnu has come to me to ask, how can I say no? And we know that story that he had to go to Patal also because of that, because he lost all the land which he had. Earth also, sky also, heavens also. Because with 3 pag, Vaman Devji took everything from him. But that's the kind of a bhagat he was. We got to look at it, our bhakti. When we go to God, we are just asking. Do we ever worship God just for loving God? Because this is love. Bali. Bali was related to Prahlad, and we know Prahlada's devotion also. Narada did not mention over here, but he has mentioned earlier. Hanumanji, he mentioned Hanuman, the highest master in the art of devotion and service. By being a das, he became God himself. How many temples are there, Hanuman? A lot of people, they tell me, they have been worshipping Hanumanji. But when you are worshipping Hanuman, try to become like Hanuman, a servant, not just to fulfill your worldly desires. Vibhishan, the brother of Ravan, he became a great expounder of righteousness when he left his brother. Few months ago, we saw that in Valmiki's Ramayana also, how Ravana mistreated him, how he abused him, and he left Ravana. And he came at the feet of Ram. He went into the camp of Ram. He was the first defector in human history, perhaps. So that's why Narada is quoting the authorities and he's saying, I'm not just telling all this from my head. The great Bhakti Acharyas I'm naming over here, they have prescribed this Bhakti Tattva. This is called a Bhakti Tattva. The entity of Bhakti in this manner. The essence of Bhakti. Tattva means essence. And this is necessary. Anything is creditable when it is confirmed with the Shastras. Okay? So scriptures, whether it's a dialogue between a guru and a sadhu, or whether it's just a Lord Krishna talking to Arjuna also. Lord Krishna has quoted the scriptures also. They say that scriptures are saying this, it's not just my words. So that's how it becomes totally creditable. So this is like the way the truth is being carried on. So nobody says it's my truth. It is the truth of God, the essence, and this is what I'm telling you. Maybe the words are new, maybe the examples are new, but the truth is not new. Because even these days, anybody who's listening cannot understand Sanskrit, because Sanskrit is not a language right now. It's not a spoken language. And languages, old languages, hard to understand because we are not familiar with it. So that's why, but the truth is being explained with the modern language. Truth is the same. So Tulsidas ji writes in Ramayana, Nana Puran Nigam Agam Sat Matam Yat Ramayana. He says, I have written a lot in Ramayana, but it is in confirmation with the Nigam, Agam, and Puran. So these are the scriptures. I don't know how many of you know about Nigam and Agam. There's a whole set of scriptures in the Nigam and the Agams also. Those are the dialogues between Shiv and Parvati. Okay, so there's a whole library of it. So Ved Vyasji said in Bhagavatam, Arthayam Brahma Sutra Nam Sarvo Upanishadam Api. He says this Bhagavatam I'm revealing is the essence of Brahma Sutra and the Upanishads. And when we study Bhagavad Gita, there is a verse in the beginning we say, Sarvo Upanishado Gavo Dogada Gopalanandana. Right? So that means Lord himself, when he gave this knowledge, it is like he milked the Upanishads and he gave the milk of the Upanishads to Arjuna and to us. Okay, so this is a style used by our rishis. Okay. So given the examples also, Lord Krishna also said, in old time, all the kings, they did it. So you should do this too, do your duty. Over here, Narada is giving the examples of all these Bhakti Acharyas to us, that they have said it. It's not just my thing. There is I have mentioned this scripture before, I think, Bhakti Rasamrit by Rup Goswami Pad. He says there are 3 classes of Bhagats. It's like a top class, the middle class, and the third class. So they are all Adhyatmic students, but still there are degrees to it. He said the top class, the first class, Shastre Uktoho Nipunnaha Sarvatha Drid Nishchaya Pudora Shraddhau Adhikari Sabhagati Uttamomata. So Uttam Bhagat. So that means Shraddha is there. Shastra Gyan is there. That person will go towards God. So you need the knowledge also, but at the same time, you need the faith also. Shastra Uktaho Nipunnaha. Nipun, skillful in the scriptures. Sarvatha Drid Nishchaya, the strong faith. Rodaha, Shraddhau. This kind of a person is Adhikari. And he is Uttam. He says he is topmost in my opinion. And who is the middle then? Madhyam kind. So this is Uttam kind. Madhyam is Shastraha Drishiv Nipunnaha Shraddhavan Satu Madhyam. So that means no Shastra Gyan, no Satsang, but there is Shraddha. Anybody who goes to the temple, anybody who lights the lamp at night in front of their deity, sure, Shraddha is there. But there's no Shastra Gyan, there's no knowledge. What happens to this kind of a person in the company of a bad company? Who sang? This person will get off the path very easily. Sure, your guru said, do meditation, do the prayers every night, every morning. Somebody calls, let's go for a movie right away. It's very easy to get away from the path. Dhrida Nishchaya is not there. So Narada ji is saying this is a second class. So it's up to us whether we want to go towards the Uttam level or stay in the medium level. It's like an off and on bhakti. Off and on. And we don't see any vertical movement in this kind of a bhagat. Then if this is a medium, what is the lowest kind of bhagat? So they are all, remember, these are all Adhyatmic students. Because there's many who are not even students yet. They haven't even chosen the path. These who have chosen the path. He says, Yo bhavet komalye shraddha saknisht nigyate. That means no Shastra Gyan and mand shraddha. Very weak shraddha. There is a famous saying about this level of a devotee. Kuch shraddha, kuch dushtata, kuch sanshya, kuch gyan. Okay? Ghar ka raha na ghat ka, jo dhobi ka shwan. Okay? So little bit knowledge is there, little bit of this, little bit of that, but in essence, there's no firmness. You won't see any movement at all. So there is some shraddha. So kuch shraddha, kuch dushtata, kuch sanshya, kuch gyan. We don't want to stay like this. We want to rise up to that where there is a scriptural knowledge also, where there's a faith also, and there's a determination also, strong will also. Then we'll see the movement. Now let's look at the last verse of this beautiful scripture. Ya idam narad proktam shiv anushashanam vishwasati shraddhate sa bhakti man bhavati sa preshtam labhate iti. Ya means he who. Idam means this. Narad proktam, exposition by Narada. Shiv anushashanam, taught by Lord Shiva. There are a lot of stories about Lord Shiva and Narada ji. So it could be commanded by Lord Shiva or it could be taught by Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is considered the eternal Guru also. Vishwas iti, believes, like a Vishwas. Shraddhate, has faith in it. Sa means he, Bhakti Man, becomes endued with the love of God. Bhakti Man bhavati. Bhavati means becomes. Sa means he, preshtam labhate, attains his objective. Sa preshtam labhate, he attains his beloved. Iti means thus. He who believes and has faith in this exposition given out by Narad as taught or commanded by Lord Shiva, he gains the love of God and attains his objective, attains his beloved goal. Whoever he be, he who hears these sutras on love given out by Narad according to the command of Lord Shiva, and who has faith in it too. It's not only hearing it, not just reciting it, not just only talking about it. Whoever tries to live it will gain the highest. And what is the highest? The beloved. See, there is a secular desires we have. We want to take care of this body. We want this body to stay healthy. We want to take care of our duties, secular duties also. But then there's a higher than that is the spiritual desire. My beloved. My beloved is God. I want to see him. I want to become one with him. But if there's no food in my stomach, can't pay my bills, we are not Avadhuta yet, that we can live without food, live without the roof on top of the head. Our mind will constantly be churning into why others have it and I don't. So over here, Narad is saying, if you follow this path, you'll have a bhukti also and a mukti also. That's what it means. So like that means in the worldly sense also, your secular desires, they will be fulfilled too. But at the same time, your sacred desires. So if you have faith in this, you follow it, you will be blessed. So in these words, he's encouraging us. Not only encouraging us, he's offering his blessings to us too. Because Naraji, son of Brahma, son of Creator, he is the one who's saying it. And not only he says, these are my words, he says, Lord Shiva told me to tell you this. So he's not just signing at the end. He says, this is Lord Shiva, who is the Guru of all, eternal Guru, Shiva. So see, the word Priya means love, devotion, or the desire. Preshta, the word Preshta he used over here is the object of love. The devotion or the desired object. So that's why he's saying the devotee will get what he hungers for, is repeated twice to indicate that it is the end of the text of the Narada Sutras. See, that is a style also. Whenever it's repeated twice, that means iti, that's its end. So, most optimistic promise of the fulfillment of both secular and the spiritual choice. That's what he's telling us over here. But if we just run after only the secular and forget the spiritual, then we are empty. We got to remember that both are needed as long as we are in the body. But we got to do our part also. So let's just end this over here with the Shanti part, and then we'll have some discussion. and a bhajan. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishishyate. Om Shanti 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 Om.